Thank you very much. So I just follow previous speakers to provide instant computing service to everyone. The first question is about why we need fog computing or edge computing in 5G. I believe it's certainly because of this change of service from users, customers like you and me, towards devices, things in the future. So the fundamental difference is not just the volume, it's actually the intelligence behind you and me and behind the devices. We decide what kind of data, what kind of picture we want to share with our friends. But things or devices, we just upload the data according to the rules, according to the protocols. So they generate a lot of data without actually analysis. So if you still keep the network simple and keep it a transparent transportation system, then it will be a huge problem because all the intelligence will be accumulated in the cloud if we do not make any change in the network. So the key argument for this different change is that if we want to make use of the data and to make the whole service smarter and use a lot of intelligence, then we must change the current structure like a cloud, channel, and edge and things. So this is the current situation. But in the future, we believe since we have computing devices inside the network, for example, the Cisco router switch are actually servers. They just run a special software to function like a switch. It's not like many years ago. So we think we can make use of the computing capabilities inside the network and then use the software to redefine the hardware to do things you like. Okay. Previously, all the vertical applications cannot be interchangeable. You cannot use the same software or hardware for intelligent transportation system, and then you change them to intelligent medicine system or communication system. They are dedicated hardware, dedicated software. It's just like in Shanghai, the family structure. So my wife is actually the cloud. She checks all the details of my mobile phone, the WeChat, or the messages. The kids are actually the users. They make all the requirements, a piano lesson, skiing, or a painting lesson, etc. So as a husband in Shanghai, we just transmit data from the local to the cloud and make decisions and transmit decisions back. But in the future, since in China, we do not have one-child policy anymore, so you may have more kids. So that means you have... Why? Okay. Yes. So that means you have more and more requirements from the local, right? And if you're still transmitting very busily all the data to your wife and make decisions in the cloud, then it takes a longer time. So the intelligence in the network means your wife tells you you can make any decisions on the tasks with a budget less than $10. Okay, so that means you can make quick decisions like buy ice cream or something like this. So that will satisfy the end users better if you have intelligence inside network. It's just like the current structure in any human organizations, right? We have CEOs, we have senior managers, junior managers, and we have workers dealing with the day-to-day business with our customers. So if we want to make the organization very successful, you have to have these dedicated managers in different sectors to make local decisions based on the data generated locally. So that's exactly what we think we want to implement, the reason we want to implement intelligence inside the network, so we can support IoT applications better and more efficient. So I just use this one simple example to show why we need this edge computing. So this robot will make the map of this environment by itself. So the computing resource inside the robot is very limited. The energy is also very limited. So you can see the map takes a longer time to build up because the robot needs to move around. The second case, the robot sends the data in the local environment, but the robot will shift all the data to a neighborhood and to this fog computing node to do all the computing tasks. So the robot will save the energy and also save the time for computing the map. You can see with the same amount of time, this collaboration can build a much better map by one robot and one edge computing node. This one is even better. two robots will work together to generate map collaboratively with the help of fog nodes in the neighborhood. So it's like the blind man will touch the elephant. So we touch different parts of the elephant. We want to draw the picture of the elephant. So you need a very accurate synchronization in time and the space so that you can merge the data together by using the four computing nodes. So that's exactly the example to show if we have more computing resource in the neighborhood, we can do better because we can dedicate a very challenging task to the local computing devices and make the intelligent decisions quickly. And by collaboration, we can even make our service better. Okay, so recently we just published 2 books in this area. We think that this more computing resource in the network can certainly enable intelligent IoT system. So that's the very quick briefing of my research, and we certainly believe with more computing resources, we can handle more data in the network and make the service much better. Thank you very much.